There are questions people ask you that you've learned not to answer honestly. Questions like, are you going home for the holidays? How's your family? Are your parents coming to visit? And you've gotten good at giving answers that sound normal enough, that no one asks more. You smile, you change the subject, you say something vague and move on, because the truth is too complicated, too heavy, too misunderstood. The truth is, you don't talk to your family anymore. And most people will never understand why. They'll assume something dramatic happened, or they'll think you're cold, ungrateful, running away from something you should have stayed and fixed. But what they don't see is how long you stayed, how much you tried, how many versions of yourself you twisted into just to keep the peace, and how leaving wasn't about anger, it was about survival. This is the psychology of people who cut off contact with their families. And if this is you, you already know it's not what people think it is. First, let's be clear about something. Cutting off contact with your family is not a trend. It's not something people do lightly. It's not rebellion or selfishness or a phase you're going through. It's one of the hardest, loneliest decisions a person can make. Because we're taught from the beginning that family is everything. That blood is thicker than water. That you're supposed to love them no matter what. And when you can't do that anymore, when you have to choose yourself over them, the world doesn't have much sympathy for you. People will question you. They'll tell you to forgive, to try harder, to remember the good times, as if you haven't already spent years doing exactly that. What most people don't understand is that estrangement doesn't happen because of one bad fight or one disappointment. It happens after years of quietly breaking, after trying every possible way to make it work, after realizing that staying means losing yourself completely. So if you've made this choice, or if you're close to making it, you need to hear this. You're not cruel, you're not broken, and you're not alone. So what actually drives someone to cut off their own family? In psychology, this is often understood as a boundary of last resort. It's what happens when every other form of protection has failed, when setting boundaries didn't work, when distance didn't work, when trying to communicate didn't work, when changing yourself didn't work. This isn't about holding grudges or being unable to forgive. It's about recognizing that certain relationships, even family ones, are fundamentally harmful to your mental and emotional survival. Here's what that means in real terms. Some family dynamics are built on patterns that require you to stay small, to not question things, to absorb blame, to manage everyone else's emotions while yours don't matter. And for a long time you do it because you're told that's what love is, that's what loyalty is. But over time, something inside you starts to break down. Your sense of self, your ability to trust your own feelings, your belief that you deserve to be treated with basic respect. And at some point you realize that the cost of staying is too high. You're not cutting them off to punish them. You're doing it because staying connected means staying in a version of yourself that can't breathe. It means continuing to betray yourself just to keep the peace. And your mind, your nervous system, finally says no. This is a protective response. It's your psychology trying to save you from a situation that was slowly erasing you. It's not weakness. It's one of the most difficult forms of self-preservation that exists. And once you've made this choice, it changes things in ways most people never see. It shows up in small, quiet moments that you carry alone. Someone at work mentions their mom called them, and you feel this strange tightness in your chest. Not jealousy exactly, just awareness. You scroll past family photos on social media, and you don't feel anything. And that numbness itself feels heavy. You fill out forms that ask for emergency contacts, and you hesitate. You realize you've built a life where no one from your childhood is in it anymore. Holidays become complicated, not because you're sad, but because everyone assumes you're going somewhere, seeing someone, and you've run out of excuses that don't lead to more questions. So you smile and say you're keeping it low-key this year. You celebrate alone or with friends, or you don't celebrate at all. And it's fine, mostly, until it's not. You achieve something, a promotion, a milestone, something that matters, and there's no one to call, or there is, but not them, and you feel the absence of what's supposed to be there. You see other people complain about their families, about annoying parents or difficult siblings, and part of you wishes you had that problem, because at least they still have something to complain about. You've learned to build your own version of family, friends who show up, people who chose you and you chose back. But sometimes, late at night, you still wonder if you made the right choice, if maybe you should have tried one more time. And then you remember why you left. You remember how it felt to shrink yourself just to exist around them. And you know you didn't leave because you wanted to. You left because you had to. And here's the part no one talks about. You can know you made the right choice and still feel guilty about it. You can feel relief and grief at the same time. You can miss people who hurt you. You cannot want them back in your life and still wish things were different. These contradictions live inside you constantly. There are days when you feel strong, clear, certain that cutting contact was the only way forward, that you protected yourself, that you finally chose you. And then there are days when the guilt creeps in, when you wonder if you're the problem, if you were too sensitive, too unforgiving, if maybe you gave up too easily. The world doesn't help, because society loves a redemption story, a reconciliation. It wants you to go back, make peace, forgive and move forward. And when you don't, when you can't, it makes you feel like you're doing life wrong, like you're stuck in bitterness while everyone else has learned to let things go. But what people don't understand is that you're not holding on to anger, you're holding on to yourself. You're protecting the version of you that almost didn't survive. And sometimes that means accepting that you'll never have the family you wanted, that you'll carry this loss forever, even if it was the right choice. There's also this quiet longing that doesn't go away, not for the family you had, but for the family you wish you had. The parents who saw you, the siblings who supported you, the home that felt safe. You grieve that, not what was, but what never was, and probably never will be. And that grief doesn't have a timeline. It just exists underneath everything else, a weight you've learned to carry. So you adapt. You learn to live without the safety net most people take for granted. And you do it quietly because no one really teaches you how to exist without family. You become incredibly self-reliant, almost too self-reliant. You stop asking for help because you learned early that you can't depend on the people who were supposed to be there. So you figure everything out on your own. You handle your problems alone. You celebrate your wins alone. And you tell yourself that's just how it is now. You build walls without meaning to, because letting people in feels dangerous. If your own family could hurt you, reject you, fail to see you, then anyone can. So you keep people at a distance, even the ones who want to love you, even the ones who've earned your trust. There's always this quiet fear that if they knew the whole story, if they knew you don't talk to your family, they'd see you differently, judge you, think something's wrong with you. You also become really good at reading people, at sensing tension, at knowing when to leave a situation before it gets bad, because you had to learn that skill to survive your family. And now it's just part of how you move through the world, hyper-aware, always scanning, never fully relaxed. Some people throw themselves into work, into achievements, into building a life so impressive that it proves they didn't need their family after all. It's not about showing off. It's about showing yourself that you're okay, that you made it, that leaving didn't destroy you. Others go inward. They become quieter, more private. They stop sharing their life on social media. They stop talking about their past because it's easier to just not explain. And over time, you create a new identity, one that isn't tied to where you came from or who raised you. You become someone who raised yourself. And that's both powerful and incredibly lonely because you did it, but you shouldn't have had to. Now here's the realization that changes everything. And it's heavy. So let it sit with you for a moment. You didn't leave your family because you didn't love them. You left because loving them was killing you. That's the part people miss. They think estrangement is about hate, about anger, about cutting people off out of spite. But the truth is so much more complicated than that. You can love someone and know they're bad for you. You can care about someone and still need to protect yourself from them. Love doesn't make a relationship safe. And loyalty doesn't mean you have to destroy yourself to keep the peace. For years, maybe your whole life, you were taught that love means sacrifice. That family means staying no matter what. That if you really cared, you'd find a way to make it work. So you tried, you bent, you apologized for things that weren't your fault. You managed their emotions. You made yourself smaller so they could stay comfortable. You gave and gave and gave until there was nothing left of you. And they still wanted more. At some point, you had to make a choice, them or you. And choosing yourself felt like the cruelest thing you'd ever done, because you were never taught that self-preservation is valid, that protecting your peace is not selfish, that you're allowed to walk away from people who only love the version of you that serves them. Here's what most people will never tell you. Cutting off your family wasn't abandonment. It was the end of self-abandonment. Because staying meant continuing to betray yourself, your feelings, your truth, your right to be treated with respect. You stayed as long as you could. You tried every version of compromise. And when none of it worked, when it became clear that the only way to have a relationship with them was to stop having one with yourself, you chose you. And that wasn't cruelty. That wasn't giving up. That was survival. It was your mind and your body finally saying, I can't do this anymore. I won't. And that decision, as painful as it is, might be the most loving thing you've ever done for yourself. If you've cut off contact with your family, or if you're thinking about it, I need you to know something. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't have to justify your decision to people who've never lived in your situation. You don't have to defend yourself to those who think family should always come first, no matter the cost. They weren't there. They don't know what you endured, what you survived, how long you tried before you finally let go. And their opinions, as loud as they might be, don't change the validity of your choice. You're allowed to protect yourself, even from family, especially from family. You're allowed to choose peace over presence, distance over dysfunction, silence over suffering. And you're allowed to do that without guilt, even though the guilt will probably come anyway, because you were raised to believe that leaving makes you the bad person. But it doesn't. It just makes you human. A human who finally decided they mattered too. This choice you made, it doesn't mean you're healed. It doesn't mean the pain is over. You might still have hard days, days when you wonder what they're doing, if they ever think about you, if they miss you, if they even noticed you're gone. You might still grieve the relationship you'll never have, the parents who'll never understand you, the siblings who will never really know you. And that's okay. Grief doesn't mean you made the wrong choice. It just means you're human enough to feel the loss of what could have been. You don't have to reconcile. You don't have to forgive. You don't have to go back and try one more time just because someone else thinks you should. Your healing doesn't require their presence. Your peace doesn't need their approval. And your life, the one you're building now without them, it's allowed to be enough. You're allowed to be okay with your decision, even on the days when it doesn't feel okay. You walked away from people who were supposed to love you, but didn't know how to do it without hurting you. And you survived that. You're still here, still building, still trying. And that takes more strength than most people will ever understand. You made the right choice, even if it still hurts, even if it always will. You chose yourself. And that matters more than you know.